Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about sed, which is a Unix utility that lets us edit things sort of on the fly. If I have this file, info.txt, so it has some items and it has some values. So suppose I don't want to use headphones, I want to use speakers. Well, I can use sed, and I say, and I'm going to put the command, the sed command in quotes just to avoid the shell from actually trying to do any expansion there. S for substitute, slash, I want to replace, actually let's replace head with ear. So it says earphones, and then I'll terminate that with another slash, and I'll do that with info.txt. So now you see that we replaced earphones or headphones with earphones. So now let's suppose that I want to change the price of the laptop, and that's 400. Let's say I get a better laptop, and let's say I change it to a PC as well. So now I have a PC that's worth, let's say, 650. There we go. So now you can see I have a PC that's 650 instead of the laptop worth 400. And I could do this with any regular expression. So if I go in and let's say I want to have two numbers and then the end of the line, and let's also say a comma here because I don't want it to be the line ends with two numbers. That's every line. I want to say there's a comma and then two numbers. And if that's the case, I want to replace that with just two dashes to say I don't really care. That's not really something that's has value. So now you see I've replaced those. So let's suppose I do an ls-l. Well, let's suppose that I don't want to show that I'm the owner. So I can say sed substitute for whuber, let's say owner. And I need to do an ls-l, and I pipe that to the sed command. Now notice it only did the first one. If I wanted to do them all, I need to use the G for global command, and now notice it replaced all of them. However, what this is going to let me do now is I can say sed substitute whuber, because actually we're back to this one now, whuber, which is now the group, for group. And now notice it says owner and group. So again, I can use this anywhere in the pipeline, or I can pass it a file and it'll write that file to standard out with the changes that are made. I can also use sed to look at the lines. So looking at my file again, if I want to just print lines that end in 5, I can say sed $0 or $5 sign for the end of the line, and then P for print it, and then give it the file name. So I'm missing something here. I have to do -n. And the reason for that is by default, it prints everything. So I'm saying, hey, print these lines. Well, by default, it prints everything. -n turns off that default. And so now it just prints the lines that end in 175. Or I could just print the lines that, and you'll notice actually it printed monitor twice. So I could also print the lines that have, let's say, a 3-digit number in them. I could also not print the lines that have a 3-digit number by including an exclamation point before the print saying don't print that. And so now you can see those there. So sed's a very powerful tool. What we've seen right here is the things you do most commonly. Typically you're going to be replacing. I can also, though, if I want, I can delete those lines. sorry, the delete comes at the end, so I was actually closer before. So instead of printing them, I can delete them. And notice, again, it's the same as not printing them. So there's a lot of options there. The book has some more things that you may find interesting. This covers a lot of what gets done with sed, and with more complicated regular expressions, you can do some pretty strong things with this. And again, remember, this fits in the Unix pipeline. So you can generate output with a command, run it through some cuts or sorts or whatever, run it through seds multiple times, do a lot of things to modify that data.